What are we serving today, y'all?
Asian standards for girls.
What was it like growing up as an Asian girl?
I can start. No, I'm just.
Um, Dude, so long story short, I feel like growing up as an Asian girl, it was always about the outer appearance. So like a lot of the things that I heard was pretty much the same thing. It was like, oh, you're eating too much. Stop eating so much. Don't be so loud. Taking care of your siblings because you're the girl of the family. So like anything that was related to like helping your mom clean the house, like do the chores. I don't know, for some reason, I would always find the ladies being responsible for it. Like even when we used to go to family parties, it was like some sort of unspoken thing where all the males, it would be sitting down, like having conversation, talking, eating, drinking. But when it came to cleaning up, cooking, all those things, it was always the ladies, the moms, even my grandma doing it. The dads and the males would never have to help. As I got older, like it would always be like, oh, why are you dressed in like shorts and a shirt? Like you should be wearing a dress. Like you should be having your hair up. Like things like that, that would always make me feel less confident about myself. And that actually came from my dad, my mom, and that was kind of like what we thought was normal.
Now I have similar experience. Like they would expect me to be a lady who cook bar, but like the whole point of being an Asian woman is like, oh, you need to carry yourself in a way that you can attract all the male. You know what I mean? Like just so that they want you to be your wife. Like you need to learn how to be a good wife, basically. When I realized that what I was grooming for, if you're gonna tell me to do a certain thing, I'm gonna do the opposite. Um, basically, yeah. So we have a lot of as Asian, we have a lot of like parties,
Mm-hmm.
and at parties, always it's like oh, we're done eating. Can you clean up the table?
Mm-hmm.
Can you like baby dishes, this and that? And I just sit there. It's like, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
And my mom would yell at me, like the auntie would be saying stuff, and I just sit there like, if I'm not gonna do it, what can you make me do?
Yeah.
So, what were the challenges when you were a teen, and what are the challenges now as a grown woman?
Kids, kids is the challenge now. But when I was teen, like I said, I started my rebellion very early. So when I was a teen, it's I'm more considered more edgy
Mm-hmm.
uh compared to like obviously I'm like normal for American standard, but in Vietnam, like I'm considered edgy for my peers. My peers always like, like they fit into the box.
Mm-hmm.
They follow what their parents say. So I'm kind of an outcast because I I do things that like boys do. Um and I just like to do things that boys do, and then they like the girl wouldn't play with me
Mm-hmm.
as a teen because they think I'm like just weird.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a challenge.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
So, one of the funniest story that my mom told me when she visited Vietnam when Dice was 12 was that they were at a club, a nightclub, and Dice was there too.
Wait. That's the other club when it was 12?
Yes, at 12. And the thing is, Dice was already tall when she was 12, so she could pass as like an adult in a way. So she looked old already. She was at a club, and my mom was there. And Dice offered my mom a cigarette.
And then his mom started telling on me
Mm-hmm.
to my mom, and I got in trouble.
I mean, what do you expect?
But
You might have been a teen, yeah, you're 12.
a tween to whatever. But yeah, I do things that are out of the expectation, out of the not ladylike. So it was a struggle, but I at that point I don't care. I just don't want to be fit into that box of like, oh, girl had to do this, girl had to do that. It's just like I would rather, move away to another country, which I did. So as a woman now, it's a lot better really, but there's still expectations from other culture. So I work with a lot of older men.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So obviously we don't work together, but email back and forth. And sometimes if a woman in the industry email them, they wouldn't like answer. Just ignore our emails. And if we have to like talk to our, like the male in our company, like, oh hey, like we tried so hard to reach out to get this done, but they wouldn't respond. And then the moment the male will email something, we get a respond. You know what I mean? It's just very annoying. But that's what I noticed. Yeah.
Pretty much along the same lines of like really being aware of how my body looked like. That was like the most challenging thing. And still, even to this day, it's hard for me to accept the way that I look. As a woman right now, I still care about like, oh, how I look on the outside. And that really just comes down to like the root of Korean culture. Like we're so obsessed with how we physically look rather than like being conscious of like how we are on the inside. As a teen growing up, like because my parents would always say like, why are you eating so much? Like you shouldn't eat this or that because you're gonna get fat. That really impacted the way that I would eat, the food that I would choose to eat, how I eat in front of my friends. That was like one of the biggest challenges, and like how I chose my clothes. It was just so hard for me to accept the way that I was because I wanted to feel like someone else or like have this like perfect body that really no one has. And so like I would literally weigh myself almost every day. Damn, because I was so scared of gaining weight. Like even an extra pound or two, it would give me anxiety and stress. As I got older, like that turned into something even deeper, like when I got into relationship and when my partner would do something that made it seem like, oh, does he not like me because of the way that it would always result to that. And then even to this day, like, when I was pregnant with Des, it was so hard for me to accept my body. So when I was pregnant with Des, it was such a weird experience because it was, obviously the first time like carrying a baby, carrying a child. Looking at my body, I didn't feel like that body was me because I had never seen my body that big. After I had Des, I wanted to get back to how my body was like before Des.
No.
So I literally starved myself. Those first few months that we were dealing with Des, because it was already so hard, didn't have any sleep, like it was easy for me to starve myself because one, we were sleep deprived, two, we're just too tired to eat. Me like thinking, okay, my goal is to get back to my body weight. Like what's the fastest way to get back to my body weight? Just starve myself. So sometimes I would just like literally have a coffee for the rest of the day. And then at night, like when we're eating together, I would have like 2 or 3 bites. I had to and then like be okay with that. But obviously it caught on to me and I realized, okay, I have to take better care of my body and things like that. I'm still learning right now to accept the way that my body looks, but even if at my age, I'm still going through that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I luckily didn't have any like eating issue. Uh the only thing is that when of course like people are like, oh, every time they see me like, oh, you're getting a little bit big, you should lose weight. You should eat less, stuff like that. Um and every time that happened, I would like eat more. I'm like, oh, okay, you think so? Okay, I'll eat some more then. Honestly, but not until my health, like cholesterol, and my doctor is telling me, oh, you actually do need to eat less so that you can like stay healthy. Oh, that's different. Okay? That's some medical advice. That's different. But before, like I'm 5'9" and I was like 103 pounds. People still say, oh, you're a little chubby. You gotta lose weight. And then like I said, eat more. I was 130. To me, that's still normal. Yeah, for 5'9", 130 pounds. And people are like, oh, I think you get really big. You need to like lose weight. This is all people back home, like from Vietnam, right? Like, so every time that happens, you know what? I'll eat more. I don't care what you say. Like, I'm gonna prove to you that what you say don't matter. Basically, that's what I did. It's like the opposite of you. Now it's pretty hard to lose weight, you know what I mean? Like everything have, it's a thin line. So I'm trying to like eat healthier. I'm not trying to eat less because I'm can survive eating less. So I just need so much energy just to keep up with Simba. That if I don't eat, I will like just be a zombie and not be able to do anything. But yeah. So it's different for us, but it's still a challenge in a way, yeah.
Right. When did you realize your parents put more pressure on you than your siblings? Ooh.
For me, I realized that right away when I was I think right away, like when my brother was born. In the shoe. Yeah, 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 yeah. So she was like, oh, she started asking me, teaching me how to chore and telling me to have to do this and that to help her out because that's my purpose. So right away I'm like, okay, I guess that's what is expected of me. And then as he grow into not a kid anymore, but more of a teen, and then I just noticed that he was never asked to do the thing that I have to do when I was even younger.
Yeah.
Like ever. So it's just unfair.
I got me annoyed of that too. I noticed that. I said, why should make you do all this stuff like for no reason?
Yeah,
And
crazy.
and also to add on, I do see this a lot in my family too. With Vietnamese culture, we call this word jihai, which is like the oldest sister. What if you're an oldest sister in a Vietnamese household, you're kind of cursed in a way where
You're a second mom. Yeah.
you're expected to do everything
Yeah.
to be financially stable, to marry as the rich husband while maintaining the household at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, you are expected to be a second mom. It's tough.
I've never really experienced any of this. But my family in itself is, I think, a little bit out of the box, whereas he's not super, culturally aware of
I like that.
like it's not like we don't follow the standards
Yeah.
in a sense. My mom, she does cook. I never really saw my dad cook a lot, but that really, I would say, would be the standard. Like my mom and dad treated my sister and myself the same. But granted, we were only 1 year apart, but I can tell you that like she had to do more than I did. But my mom did take care of the house a lot more than my dad in the sense, but that was probably all I saw. My sister is in the sense where she's 1 year older than me, but I would say I would say I did more than her necessarily, but it was like she didn't necessarily care. For a lot of things, like in terms of like driving, most people are like, when you're a teenager, you're like, oh, let me fucking drive right away. She didn't really care to, and I drove before her. So I was driving her in school, as a younger brother. And then, so a lot of people like thought, I would say a lot of people, but it seemed like I was older than her. Because we're only 1 year apart, so it's really hard to tell,
Yeah.
at that age. And then, so, a lot of people thought, because of me being more, proactive about things, that I would say, at that age, a lot of people thought I was older.
So I had an older sister. She was a half sister. So it was a little bit different. Like she and I, we also had different expectations. But with me and my brother, it was just so unfair because the way that they treated me when I made guy friends, it was not possible for me to have any friends that were guys because then they assumed that the guy friend that I made was either my boyfriend or someone that I was going to date. In Korean culture, especially with Koreans that are Christian, when you're young and you're seeing someone, like you still have to be a virgin, like you can't kiss, you can't hold hands, like no physical touch, like whatsoever, like that was forbidden. So anytime I had friends that were guys, like they couldn't come over. Like I had to freaking sneak out of my house all the time. I couldn't talk to them over the phone. And when we were growing up, we didn't have cell phones. So like I would literally be waiting by my phone, my home phone to see if my friends would call. Um, and my brother would get away with having friends that were girls. And then like when I asked my parents, "Oh, why is it okay for him to have friends that are girls but not okay for me?" And they would always say, "Because you're the girl."
That was it. Because
And then yeah, that's when I realized like okay, things were a little bit different and the pressure on me was a lot more than the pressure of my put on my brother as a guy. But also, since I was older than him too, just like watching him grow up, he was always catered to. Like, even when we put food on the table, like, I would have to fend for myself, like feeding myself. But my dad and my mom would always put food on his
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
In the Korean language, we call this thing called nunchi. I don't know what you say, how you say it in English, but it's like the girls are supposed to have a third eye of noticing things that guys don't. And like I had that nunchi ever since I was like a little kid. I can even remember. It was like this anger in me
Horse.
of being a girl, but I couldn't help it because I was a girl.
Kind of going off of that. So my mom, she grew up in a I forget how many siblings she has, but it was like I want to say she had like 4 sisters and 1 brother, and she experienced that when she was growing up. I remember her telling me, they would like give a holy son like all the meat like when you're eating, and like the girls get really like nothing much, at that time. To baby, it's just my mom experienced that and kind of just decided to cut that off,
Yeah.
after she had kids. But maybe this is kind of going to the next question. But I'll be honest with you, if we had a daughter, I would that would probably be the honest standard that I would keep. But if I had a daughter, I would treat her way differently than Des.
So, what are the things you heard from other people regarding expectation for an Asian female that makes you tick?
I heard multiple people I know, multiple people he know that the girl cannot move forward with a man that she liked unless she get the approval of both parents.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so multiple people I know in LA like that happened to them,
A lot.
and I'm just so bad. So like I say, the fact that they fell in love with this guy, they want to get forward, but then they need to wait for that approval to from their parents to move forward. And then I think I was like asking this one girl like, what happened if you don't get the approval? And they're like, well, then I have to break up with him. I'm like, the fuck? Yeah, that's crazy.
That's not just from one source.
No, it's multiple.
Multiple.
Like, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was just one like person, but it's multiple. And I'm like, that's intense, insane. Like, I don't think my mom ever put that pressure on me. But honestly, luckily for her that we found love because like he get approval from like the entire clan. You know what I mean? And then luckily, like I like him too. I love him too. But yeah, so they had it easy.
This is so funny. Like I actually had a story about the complete opposite.
Really?
So it was my ex, right? So my ex in college, I think this was just one of the reasons why we didn't work out, but it ended up being her parents actually didn't approve of me.
Yeah. Because you're in a frat, huh?
No, it's because I was an econ major.
Because you weren't a doctor.
It was our graduation. Like, we all graduated together, and then like I didn't even get to like really say hi to our parents. It was just kind of like they were doing the whole thing. Like
We just no. I have experienced that story with multiple girlfriends,
Yeah.
family members of mine.
It's not just like Asian females regarding expectations for Asian females. I think females in general, like, we're expected to become a mother eventually, and I think that's so wrong. Like, there's so many people out there's so many women out there that are like so career driven and like want to do more in life, and I actually applaud that. Like, I appreciate that. And so like there's this expectation that like we're supposed to go through this life cycle of becoming a mother and like bearing children. No, like if someone doesn't want to have kids, we shouldn't be questioning them. Like, society today, they always question, why don't you want to have kids?
Yeah.
It should be the other way around. Why do you want to have kids?
Yeah.
Like, why do you truly want to have kids? Is it because like there's this expectation that like, oh, having a family is everything? Like, no, like we shouldn't be asking those people that don't want kids, like, keep that, please respect the women that want to do their own thing.
Yeah.
We only have one life to live. Not wanting a kid is not being selfish. It's being aware of what you truly want.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.